Right.
Okay, now we're going to fit the delivery valves.
Yep. So Blake, you want to open some up? Yeah. Fit the delivery valves. And obviously you want to fit them with the seat facing down and the guide facing uppermost. It's always a good idea to lubricate the O-rings. One, it just helps the O-rings sit comfortably, and the other thing is it often, particularly as you can see with the ones located on the front, just to hold them in place while the nuts go down. So then we just place them like so, all 8. In any condition, whether it's new, old, being serviced or troubleshooting, the simple test for a valve is just to shake it, just to make sure the ball is moving loosely in the guide. And obviously the other way you can do it is to check that the seat is okay, is just to hold the valve together and blow down the guide and see if you get any leak out the back. How are we doing? Good. 3 and 1. Just take golden age, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to fit the delivery side nut. As you can see, it's just a nut threaded both sides. Just make sure the threads are nice and clean. And turn them on. They should go most of the way down by hand. If they don't, withdraw them and check the thread on both the barrel and the nut. Threads could be damaged. Again, just clean them. Down.
Yeah, I got to go in.
Go. Okay, so we've just finger tightened the delivery nuts, and what we'll do is put the fittings in the delivery nut with a dowty seal. Make sure that's located in the groove, and then yeah. What I like to do is to make sure as I hold the nut, so you can either do that, you don't need to do this on the pump if you don't like to, but just hold the nut while you do the fitting up. Then that makes sure you've got the fittings nice and tight. You can use these to wind the nuts down, but I don't like to do that. It's better that things are done independently and ensure that every piece is tight. Again, nothing excessive, just nice and tight. Okay, and one of the things we'll do is we'll just retain the pump from turning, and we'll just firm the nuts up. Again, with a long spanner like this, they don't need to be excessively tight. This is where there's value in locating the O-rings with grease. Be reasonably sure they won't pop out. Remove the cap. The trouble with the grease, it gets in your hand so much you can't. Right, before I continue with the top, we'll work on the bottom of the pump. And this is where we fit the mandrels into the diaphragms. And in order to ease this process, what we do is oil the ends of the mandrel, push them in reasonably far, firmly by hand, and then insert them into the underneath of the pump. So what I do is just dip the end of the oil like that, force them together, and then what we do is make sure we fit the tapered end uppermost, and obviously you can see the trailing end of the mandrel sticking out the back, and then just push them in by hand up until they're flush with the bottom of the barrel. Just push them as far as I go, easily. Eesh. You get the inlet down first. Okay, so we've inserted all 8 diaphragm mandrel assemblies, and just push them up in order to give us room to locate the inlet valve. Out of the box. So as with the delivery valves, we just grease the O-ring nicely, give it the rattle test just to make sure that the guide is free, and then as before you need to insert, or rather opposite to the delivery side, you need to insert the seat downmost. Just force it up against the O-ring. And now we're going to fit the inlet nuts, same as delivery nuts except for the extension to fit the rubber manifold on. So as before, just spin them on by hand. Now you will have noticed that we did the delivery side up first, and the reason for that is that if you fitted the inlet side first and pushed the mandrel up, you could push it through the end of the barrel, and then you could crush the delivery valve down over the diaphragm and damage the end of the diaphragm. So what we do is we do the delivery side up tight first, and then bring the inlet side up behind it. Again, use the clamping jig to hold a nut. You can get it in there. So let's try that one. That's better. Okay. Now we use the spanner just to bring them up. So much like the delivery ones, don't overexert yourself with a spanner this size. Okay, at any stage during the build when the lid's been sealed, what I'd like to do is just to put the caps in the air just to stop any foreign materials entering it for any reason. Just hold the top down loose, and that's going to be the right size. Just feed the drain plug in. We don't want to lose this baby, so just nip. Okay. With the delivery manifold, what I usually like to do is to grease its entry into the post, fit 3 8mm socket screw into the manifold,
That's not it, Nick. The signal here.
Put the quarter adapters into the manifold, making sure you locate the dowty seal accurately. Are you writing all this down, Clay? Any questions afterwards?
I'm writing it all down here.